computers. Yeah, I remember when I looked it up on Google, it turns out the history of computers is amazing. I had no idea that the first computers were huge and could only do so little. Yeah, in the very beginning, computers were just big boxes. They didn't even have screens yet, let alone a mouse. But the first famous computer was called ENIAC, and it was made in 1945. It was so big, like the size of a whole living room. Just imagine nowadays we always carry a computer device with us, but back then ENIAC was made in 1945 and could only solve one problem at a time, and it took a long time. And it got really hot, it could make the whole room feel like a sauna. How did it even work? Every day they had to keep replacing the food. That's why during Hitler's era, computers were only used for military help purposes because they were extremely expensive to make. And you know what? I read that even a tiny mistake, like a loose or faulty cable, could cause the whole machine to catch fire. So it took a lot of people just to run a single process. Their struggle was really ahead of its time. Luckily, in 1954, transistors started to appear. This marked the beginning of the second generation of computers. A transistor is a small component that could replace vacuum tubes. It's more efficient, faster, and runs cooler. It's like regular software, but it actually has a unique feature that allows it to open and close subpoints super quick. Yeah, but it makes a huge difference. And it's because of the transistors that computers could become smaller. But even so, it still wasn't enough for large-scale computation. That's why in 1964, the third generation used ICs or integrated circuits so you could hear about transistors inside them. That's when computers started to be able to sit automatically on desks. And that makes me think people back then were really brave. With such limited technology, they were able to do things even before the internet existed. But those basic technologies became the foundation for what we have now. I agree. And moving into the 70s, the fourth generation emerged. Computers started using microprocessors. So all the important components were integrated into a single very small chip. And this is what led to the birth of the PC or personal computer. This isn't just used in Ireland, but it can also be used at home. Now, this is my favorite part, the 80s and 90s when computers started coming into schools or internet cafes. I still remember playing games like Next and Sorry Space on those old computers. The CPU is as big as a rifle butt, and those big CRT monitors that are so sturdy with books on top of them. Looking at your savings makes your eyes go wide, but even back then the programs were already really cool. Not to mention when the internet appeared, everything started to change even more over time. From the 90s up to 2007 was the era when the internet exploded. There were things like home messengers, and then people started using email. And don't forget the legendary modern dial-up sound. It really brings back memories. We used to have to wait so long just to open a single web page, but now with just one smartphone, we can open several apps at once. We can edit videos, share knowledge, watch videos, and so much more. And all of that is the result of decades of technological development. Now, computers are everywhere. Watches, refrigerators, cars, even your front door can be controlled from your phone. Yeah, technology these days is truly amazing. But sometimes I feel like we're still kind of dependent, you know? We look up answers on the internet for every little thing. We've forgotten what it's like to think for ourselves. That's why we need to use it wisely. Technology is a tool to help us, not something to replace everything. Now, we just have to touch the screen, but we must not just be spectators, we must also be able to become creators of technology. Right on? Who knows? Maybe one of us will be lucky and will be computer. Amen. That was for us before. Come on, let's look for the video script from this channel. There are already so many cool ones that can be used. Agree. And don't forget, we have to deliver it in a relaxed but informative style. So I'm worried my mom might have already come to pick me up. Let's continue tomorrow instead. Oh, okay. Alright. Bye guys! Hi Olga. The test about yesterday's informatics video is coming up soon. Oh yeah, let's do it. What are you guys discussing? We're discussing it too. Do you want to join? Sure, just come and sit here for a moment. Hey guys, yesterday I asked a quiz question on SysD about the content ID topic. And the answer came really fast. AI these days really can help us with everything.
Yeah, I use it a lot too, but sometimes I wonder if we might end up becoming too dependent on it. And it could make us think for ourselves less and less.
That's true, but honestly, I feel like AI is kind of like a personal assistant. It can help organize schedules, revise materials, and even help edit assignment scripts. Exactly. I once used AI to do an assignment, and the result was actually pretty good. But what amazes me is that AI can understand context. Like when I just typed one word asking it to do an assignment, it immediately got what I meant.
But have you guys realized AI also gets its information from human data, so if it's wrong, it can be misleading.
This is important. A lot of people think AI is always right. But in reality, AI is just a trained system. It doesn't have consciousness or empathy. I once saw a video about AI that can create deepfakes. People's faces can be swapped perfectly. It's actually scary because it could be used to trick people or spread hoaxes.
That's why technology ethics must go hand in hand with innovation. AI is like a knife, it can help you cook, but it can also be dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands.
But we also can't just use its benefits as an excuse. In the medical field, for example, AI can help detect cancer earlier than humans can. There are even AIs that help farmers schedule planting and harvesting based on the weather. I also believe there are AIs that help children with special needs learn to read. It can adjust its teaching methods to match the child's learning pace. That's really cool.
But still, as the digital generation, we have to maintain control. We shouldn't let AI control us, especially to the point where we can't live without checking our phone.
And education about AI is really important. It should be taught in school so that the younger generation can understand how to use it wisely. I agree. Sometimes I think like this. AI should be a discussion partner, not a boss that tells us what to do. We still have to think for ourselves, have our own ideas, and use logic, not just rely on everything.
This is for the machine, folks. Awesome. And also don't forget that AI is made by humans. If the humans are smart and responsible, the AI will also be beneficial. So the point is we have to be active users, not passive ones. That's right. Let's use AI for good things though, help us learn, work, and create. But don't let us lose our identity as humans who can think, feel, and empathize. Wow! If everyone thought like that, I'm optimistic our future will be safe and super cool. Let's say amen to that. But let's not just talk about it, let's invite our friends to be aware of this through our video. Agreed. Come on, let's make a video. Let's go. Let's register now. Nick, have you ever imagined what computers will look like in the future? Maybe we won't need screens or keyboards anymore, just think. And everything works instantly. Ha ha ha! Just like in those science fiction movies. I think it's totally possible. Especially now that there's already research being done about computer brands, interfaces that supposedly can read brain signals and then direct them to machines. Yeah, so maybe in the future we'll just think about opening YouTube and the video will instantly appear on smart glasses or even be projected directly onto our retinas. That's crazy. By the way, did you know about quantum computers? They say they can calculate thousands of times faster than regular computers. Yeah, I've read about that before. So quantum computers are made using bit zeros and ones just like regular computers. But they use qubits, which can be both at the same time, so the logic is parallel and really powerful. Just imagine, if creating a heavy document already takes time to load, a quantum computer could handle super complex tasks. It can handle super complex tasks like simulating the world's climate in just seconds. But it seems like not everyone can own one yet. For now, they're still in big labs and require extreme temperatures to run the machines. You mean like a chip in your hand? Yes, something like that for access to transaction data, maybe even direct communication. That's right. Between minds, but like I said, there need to be clear regulations and boundaries. Exactly, we can't let everything become too automated. To the point where we forget how to be human sometimes, even having a direct conversation like this feels rare. And digital education is also important so that the next generation can be tech savvy but still have empathy and logic.
Yes, because no matter how advanced computers get, they're still made by humans who have values, feelings, and responsibility that's up to us. So the future of technology is like an open space, really vast and full of potential, but we have to be ready to navigate it wisely. If we can use it properly, maybe we won't just use technology, but also help create the best possible future. And that starts now by learning to care, not just being passive users. Let's be part of a generation that doesn't just enjoy the future. Let's do it, but also build it. Let's go.
Oi, cut dulu. Pisau bisa ben